In early 1959, a group of Soviet hikers set out to cross the Ural Mountains in the Western Soviet Union. 9 men and women, all experienced and well-versed in the Siberian wilderness, embarked on a journey that tragically became their last. Despite exhaustive investigations, countless theories, and the haunting relics of their journey photos, journals, and the chilling details found in the snowy mountains, the case remains unsolved over 60 years later. This is the eerie and enduring mystery of the Dyatlov Pass incident. On January 23, 1959, a group of 10 skiers, all students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, boarded a train. Led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student and skilled outdoorsman, the team had set out for an expedition into the frigid wilderness. Their goal was to reach a mountain known locally as Otorten, which lies deep in the northern Urals. But they never reached their destination. By the end of the journey, only Yuri Yudin, who fell ill and returned home partway, would survive. He would never see his 9 friends again, nor would he ever get answers to the questions surrounding their deaths. After a long train ride through snow-blanketed terrain, the group continued by bus, then truck, and finally by foot and ski. On January 28th, just days after setting out, Yudin, the only member of the group to turn back due to his sudden illness, made his way home, leaving the rest to carry on. The group documented every step of their journey with diaries and photos, capturing a seemingly normal expedition. In these images, they are seen smiling, enjoying each other's company, and tackling the harsh winter terrain without hesitation. Each day brought them closer to their goal, yet also, as we now know, to a tragic end. The 1st of February saw the group reach the foot of a mountain the indigenous Mansi people call Kolat-Syakhl, or Dead Mountain. Locals had warned that the region was treacherous, and the mountain's name had an ominous ring, but the hikers were undeterred. After all, they were experienced outdoors people, prepared for the challenges that lay ahead. They set up camp that night on the slope of Kolat-Syakhl, capturing their last diary entry. The entry reads, "It's hard to imagine such comfort on the ridge, with the wind howling and miles from civilization." They would never be heard from again. Weeks passed and family members became increasingly concerned when the hikers did not return as planned. By February 20th, a search party was organized. When rescuers arrived at the mountain, it took several days to locate any sign of the group. Finally, on February 26th, they found the hikers' tent, but something was disturbingly wrong. The tent was half collapsed, covered in snow, and had been slashed open from the inside, as if the group had desperately tried to escape. Their belongings were left in an orderly manner, almost undisturbed, yet the tent was empty. 9 sets of footprints led away from the tent, barefoot or in socks, into the thick snow below. The footprints were calm, not rushed, as if the hikers had descended in a controlled manner, but the trail vanished after about half a kilometer, buried under fresh snowfall. The first bodies were discovered near a large cedar tree, about a mile from the tent. Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishenko lay in their underclothes, with no jackets or boots to protect them from the brutal sub-zero temperatures, which that night had reached a deadly -30 degrees Celsius -22 degrees Fahrenheit. The remains of a small campfire were nearby, and branches on the cedar tree were broken up to 5 meters high, suggesting that someone may have climbed it. Were they trying to see the tent, or were they escaping something? 3 more bodies were found between the cedar tree and the tent, positioned as if they had been trying to return to the camp but hadn't made it. They too had minimal clothing. Hypothermia was listed as the cause of death for all 5, and the investigators noted minor injuries, bruises, and scratches, but nothing fatal. But it was the last 4 hikers found later that would bring the mystery to another level. These final 4, discovered several weeks later buried under 3 meters of snow in a ravine, had injuries far more severe. One had a fractured skull, another had broken ribs. 2 had massive internal injuries that the medical examiner would later compare to the trauma from a car crash. Even stranger, one of the women, Lyudmila Dubinina, was found missing her tongue. Some of their clothes were contaminated with radiation. The Soviet authorities launched an investigation, but the answers they offered only deepened the mystery. After reviewing all the evidence, they closed the case on May 28, 1959, issuing a statement that would echo through history. The cause of death was an unknown compelling force, which the hikers were unable to overcome. No further explanation was provided, and the case was sealed. Over the years, speculation ran rampant. What kind of unknown compelling force could drive experienced hikers to rip their way out of a tent into freezing conditions, leaving behind all their essential gear and even their shoes? Why did some of them have fatal injuries, while others died of hypothermia? Countless theories emerged, each more bizarre than the last. Some suggested that the group had encountered extraterrestrials or even hostile forces connected to Soviet military tests. Rumors of UFO sightings in the area around that time fed the speculation, with some even claiming the group witnessed a top-secret weapons test. Others speculated that an avalanche forced them to flee in terror, though many experts believe this theory is unlikely, as the tent was undisturbed by any debris, and the landscape itself showed little evidence of an avalanche. Another theory claimed the hikers were victims of infrasound, a phenomenon that occurs when low-frequency sounds resonate with certain land features, causing feelings of panic, fear, and hallucinations. But while some of these theories offered intriguing possibilities, none could fully account for all the strange details surrounding the case. In recent years, experts have revisited the Dyatlov Pass incident in an attempt to bring more grounded explanations to the mystery. One of the more plausible theories points to the group's homemade stove. Evidence suggests that on the night of the incident, the stove inside the tent may have malfunctioned. The tent would have filled with thick, suffocating smoke, and in a desperate attempt to escape, the hikers cut their way out. This theory explains the slashed tent and their disoriented exit into the night without proper clothing. Once outside, they would have quickly become disoriented in the darkness and severe cold. Separated from each other, some of the group sought shelter in the nearby forest, starting a fire to stave off hypothermia. But hypothermia can cause strange behaviors, like undressing due to feelings of extreme warmth, the condition known as paradoxical undressing. Others may have attempted to climb the cedar tree in search of the tent or to gain a vantage point. As for the severe injuries, an avalanche or fall into the ravine may have been responsible for the trauma to the final group of hikers. Natural decomposition likely accounted for the missing soft tissues, and the radioactive clothing could have been a result of the two hikers who worked in areas exposed to radiation. Ultimately, while many questions remain, the stove malfunction theory provides a plausible answer to many of the haunting details. But despite these insights, we may never know for certain what happened on that mountainside on a frigid February night. The Dyatlov Pass incident continues to captivate, a chilling reminder of nature's power and the limits of human understanding. In the end, it is perhaps fitting that the Dyatlov Pass mystery remains unsolved, a shadow cast across the snowy slopes of Kholat-Syakhl, a place of quiet beauty and unforgiving harshness, where the unknown will forever linger in the icy winds.